Hi guys, how are you? In today's video I would like to chat with you about growing roses in the shade. I know that's a topic that quite a number of you were interested in, so today I want to give you a one-year update on the rose that I grew in my shady container garden. I want to go in detail about the choice of roses, how to plant them, how to maintain them throughout summer, and I also want to share with you some tips and some pieces of information that I think might be really useful and helpful if you also want to grow or try growing roses in your shady container garden. So I'm going to be talking quite a bit in this video, so perhaps grab yourself something to drink, a cup of tea or coffee, and let's have a chat. Okay, I'm also going to place my notebook in here so that I don't forget any piece of information that I want to share with you today. So generally, this year was a really positive experience, and I'm really happy that I gave it a try, that I tried growing roses in my shady garden. I know that 1 year is still quite a bit early to draw any conclusions, but so far so good. So something that I want to start with is rose maintenance, because this is going to be really important, especially when you grow roses in partial shade, and let me explain you why. So generally, roses are quite demanding plants. Like, there's a lot of things that a rose need in order to grow healthy and to really flower abundantly. And one of those things is sun exposure. We usually say that rose needs at least 6 hours of direct sunlight to grow healthy. And as long as you can grow roses with less than 6 hours of sunlight, something to keep in mind here is that if you do grow roses with less than 6 hours of sunlight, you are not going to be growing them in their so-called optimal conditions. So what can happen is that your rose can be a bit stressed, and a stressed plant can be weaker plant, and then a weaker plant is more prone to pest and disease attacks. So that's something that you will have to keep in mind, something that you will have to watch out for. And that's why it's really important to kind of baby your plant during those first couple of years, and to really pay attention to the maintenance and to try to take the best possible care of your rose so that it grows healthy and it can perform to its best potential even in your partial shade. So some other things that are really important for roses are good airflow, because already at the base, roses are quite prone to fungal diseases like powdery mildew, black spot, and rust. So make sure that you provide a really good airflow around your rose. So that means don't kind of squeeze your rose in some corner of your balcony, and don't place some other larger plants in front of it that could potentially overcrowd it. Make sure that there's a really good airflow around your rose. Now, the third thing that's really important for roses is regular watering. And as long as roses are not as thirsty as, for example, hydrangeas or clematis, they still need consistent watering, and they don't appreciate being dry for too long in between waterings, especially if you're going to grow them in containers. Obviously, soil dries up pretty quickly in containers, so you will need to water your rose regularly. Another really, really important thing is fertilizing. Roses are heavy feeders. They need a lot of nutrients to grow healthy, to put on this beautiful flower show. And when we grow plants in containers, they only have that small amount of soil, and the nutrients leach out pretty quickly from container grown plants. So regular fertilizing is really a key to success. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about fertilizers later in the video. And the fifth thing is pruning. And something that a rose expert once told me is pruning is the best thing that you can do to your rose maintenance-wise, because nothing will ever impact the health of your rose as much as either proper or improper pruning. Alright, so let's start from the beginning, from the moment we choose our rose through planting, and then later maintenance. So a couple of years ago, I went on the David Austin website, and I discovered that all of a sudden they have this selection of roses that they call for shade. And I was really intrigued by that because, as we said at the beginning, roses need at least 6 hours of sunlight. And we talk about shade when our garden receives between 0 and 3 hours of sunlight. Then 3 to 6 hours of sunlight is considered partial shade, and then more than 6 hours is considered full sun. So I was really intrigued. I started to read a little bit more about it, and what they say on their website is pretty much you can grow these roses in slightly more shaded areas of your garden, but you will still need at least 5 hours of direct sunlight. So I was a little bit disappointed because, for me, 5 hours of sunlight, that's like almost full sun. So I decided, okay, never mind, I'm gonna give it a try anyway, and let's see how it does in actual full shade. They have a really nice selection at this point. You can choose between shrub roses all the way until climbers. So there's quite a lot of roses to choose from. So go ahead and check out their selection. I picked a medium-sized climber called Mary Delaney, and I ordered it as bare root. So as the name indicates, bare root roses are roses that are delivered without pot, without soil, just bare roots and a little bit of a stem. And they are delivered in winter because that's the proper time to plant them, when they are fully dormant. I have a full tutorial on how to plant bare root roses in pots, but two most important things that you will need is a decent size container. Unless you're growing a miniature rose, a rose that's smaller than 50 centimeters tall and wide, you will need a big container, a container that's at least 40 centimeters tall and wide right from the start. There's no point planting the rose in small container and then having to repot it a year later. Start with a large container, and you need to plant it in ericaceous soil, so acidic soil. Roses need low pH because at high pH levels certain minerals become unavailable, so your rose won't be able to absorb the nutrients it needs to grow healthy, and that's where you start to have problems like chlorosis, especially iron-induced chlorosis. So make sure that you choose ericaceous potting soil for your rose. And once you plant your rose, figure out the sun exposure on your balcony. So take a look at your balcony and check what's the brightest spot, because if your balcony doesn't receive an even sun exposure like mine doesn't, there are parts of my balcony that receive 0 hours of sunlight, and then some parts of the balcony receive 4 hours of sunlight. So figure out what's the brightest spot in your garden, and if that makes sense to plant your plant in that spot, that's what I would do, because sometimes even 30 minutes more of sunlight can make a huge difference. Now, once your rose starts to wake up in the spring, once it starts to produce some foliage, that's the moment when I would start fertilizing it. And now the thing is that if you're going to plant a bare root rose, don't expect much from it in the first growing season. Those roses, they need time to establish, they need time to grow new healthy root system, they need time to put on some vegetative growth. And that's really what you want to focus on during the first year. Don't focus on flowers, focus on vegetative growth. That's why I would recommend you to use something like Alga Grow. This is a fertilizer that I use. This is an organic fertilizer rich in nitrogen. Nitrogen is a mineral that helps plant develop healthy leafy growth, and that's basically what you want from your plant. You want it to grow really large and healthy, to produce full of foliage, full of stems, so that it has all that beautiful top growth on which it can flower the following years. And you're going to fertilize it with the Grow fertilizer all the way until fall. I would say all the way until September. Past September, we don't fertilize plants anymore because we don't want to encourage new healthy growth, because then that new healthy succulent growth will be very susceptible to frost damage. So start fertilizing early spring when the plant starts to actively growing, and then stop somewhere at the end of summer. So that's for the first year. And then in the second year, when your plant is already a bit bigger and you really want to see some flowers finally, that's when I would switch to something like Alga Bloom or any other bloom fertilizer. Alga Bloom is an organic fertilizer that's rich in potassium and phosphorus, which are the two minerals that your plant needs the most when it starts to flower, and these minerals will encourage your plant to produce more flower buds and then obviously more flowers. And that's what I did. I started fertilizing my plant the moment the weather warmed up and the plant started actively growing. I fertilize it about once a week with Alga Grow. And to my surprise, as early as I think that was the beginning of May, my rose started flowering. And as I said, that's not something you would expect from your rose in the first growing year, even if it was planted in full sun. But for me, that was the first sign that this rose is healthy, this rose is growing well, and there is some hope for this rose. So it produces this beautiful cluster of absolutely gorgeous, beautifully scented flowers, and it continued to produce some flowers all throughout summer, to my surprise, because as I said, we can't expect much from the rose in the first year. But I was really positively surprised to see my rose actually produce some flowers all throughout summer. I did have a bit of a pest issue at some point. I had first caterpillars and then sawfly larvae, and I have never had a sawfly larva in my garden before. So what I did is I regularly checked the leaves, I overturned the leaves and kept checking if I see some caterpillars, and then I removed them by hand. There's really no point to spraying your plant, especially if the issue is not so big and it's just focused, let's say, on one plant. So for me, I only had those sawfly larvae on that rose, so I just hand-picked them all. If you notice some aphids, that's not a big of a deal either, because aphids and roses are kind of like a combo that, you know, it's just always when you have a rose, you will always have some aphids. So what I advise you is just buy yourself some ladybird larvae. You can buy them online, spread them in your garden, and they will do the job for you. Or go for a walk in some fields or in some you know, meadow and collect some ladybirds, bring them in a jar, release them on your balcony, and they will do the job for you. So to sum up this whole gardening season with this rose, it put on some really decent growth. By the end of the season, it reached the top of the arch, because I'm growing it on this arch near my bench. It reached the top of the arch, and I'm trying to grow it more horizontally now, because that's what's recommended for climbers, because then they produce those side shoots, and on those side shoots, they are gonna produce flowers next year. So that's kind of how I ended the season, with a really healthy rose that produced some clusters of flowers all throughout summer. And the next thing on the maintenance list is obviously pruning it. That will be done next year, so late winter, early spring of 2025. I'm not doing anything special throughout winter, because roses are pretty winter hardy, so they can be overwintered outside without any extra protection. But if you live in a very cold climate, I also have a video on how to overwinter potted plants with plenty of advice. So if you feel like your rose could use a little bit of a protection, don't hesitate to check out that video as well. Alright, you guys, so I hope that sharing my experience of growing rose in a shady container garden has provided you with at least some helpful information and tips, and perhaps encouraged you to give it a try and to grow a rose in your shady container garden as well. This is going to be it for today's video. I hope you have a beautiful day, and we will see each other again next Saturday. By the way, look at this beautiful Crocus sativus, saffron crocus, just starting to bloom. I'm so excited to harvest my own saffron this year.